Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, Mr. Mike Omeri, the Director General, National Orientation Agency, is our guest on Question Time. Now, many security experts have raised the yellow flag, bearing in mind the Chadian interest in the quest of Nigeria fighting with insurgents. Now, also pointing at the highly contentious Lake Chad Basin. Now, do you think this is in line with Nigeria's national interest, opening up our defense apparatus to Chad, that may not be in line with Nigeria's national interest?
Well, Lake Chad Basin in contention, I know that there is a Chad Basin Development Commission where countries within the basin are working together. They've set up numerous joint
I'm
commissions.
talking about the oil-rich Lake Chad Basin.
No, but the area is clear. The Nigerian side is this way, the Chadian side is the other way.
But
and
the
don't
Nigerian
forget,
side is still in contention.
No, the Nigerian side, Gajigana and Co, they are all in Borno State. I know the location. Personally, I know where Gajigana is. I know most of these areas that we are prospecting for oil. Don't forget, the divide there is a lake. We don't have land border with Niger. I mean, with Chad. We don't have. It's water. It's a lake. And Gajigana is in Borno State. The other, Malam Fatori, the other side is in Chad.
Isn't it possible that there are still strong anti-Buhari sentiment in Chad, bearing in mind the role it played when it was Nigeria's military head of state against Chad?
Well, then that has passed, and he did that in the national interest of Nigeria. If anybody is not with Buhari, he is our president. We all are with Buhari.
Some have also called attention that the role Chad played in the removal of the force commander of Nigeria when Nigeria led the Africa Intervention Force in Mali, that the role was not in Nigeria's national interest and they played a critical role in the removal of the force commander in Mali. So should we still continue to partner with Chad?
Nigeria has a strong professional and intelligent officer corps that is engaged in this, and I'm sure they will notice where some delink exists in the operationalization of the task force. It is in the interest of Chad as well. Chad is coming out of so many issues within it, and the earlier we have peace within the sub-region, the better for us. Everybody will be developed. Chad will be developed, and I think the Chadian authorities are also interested, or should also be interested, in peace, because Nigeria is a critical center that supports economic activity in these areas. Problem in Chad spills over to Nigeria. Problem in Nigeria spills over to Chad. It's so closely linked, culturally, socially, that we cannot afford to fund problems in either of the sides.
It's on record that the multilateral approach, the multinational joint task force, the commander summoned defense chiefs of all the 4 nations, bearing in mind that they were yet to iron out some issues in running the multinational operations in N'Djamena. So doesn't this point that Nigerians should perhaps reconsider his faith in the multinational approach?
Whatever knowledge I have is of the past, okay? In these arrangements of of collaboration and so forth and so on. I don't have the latest information, but the last time I checked with intelligence sources, it would appear that a lot more discussion and synergy is being created to enhance the capabilities of the people helping to stamp out this insurgency in the area. And when I say synergy, between the officers, the soldiers, the communities, the governments, there are other things that are, being that ought to be tackled at the level of diplomacy. Other things at the level of mutual bilateral cooperation, and some others militarily. And I'm sure that that is what is happening.
So do you support dialoguing with the insurgents?
Well, it depends. It depends. Our country has always upheld that it will maintain international best practices in its approach to this. And if that is it, we will check. There are so many variables within best practices, and I'm sure our country will do what is right at the right time.
What are these conditions that could justify Nigeria's national interest along with these international best practices you've mentioned?
There are so many issues there are so many variables within the definition of international best practices. We know that countries have dialogue. One with the US had dialogue at a point. We know that there are military options. We know that there are joint collaborations and efforts like we are seeing to go and fight, and so many other. We know that there's also advocacy, there's education, and so forth and so on. All of this could form a part of what the global world could deploy to fight or end terrorism. In fact, and of course, attitude is also there. We can use attitude to fight insurgency and corruption and all of these things. So I am confident that situations or actions that will be taken will be determined by situations as they unfold.
Now
within national interest.
Now, in terms of intelligence gathering, now, isn't it time Nigeria reconsidered its steps in or strategy in gathering of intelligence? When we look at the Vigilantes report, the eyewitness report, they said the Boko Haram insurgents came with superior firepower and with Hilux vans and with registered plate numbers and all that, engine numbers. Those Hilux vans drop from the skies?
No. That one has been clear even right from time, because Boko Haram were known to also attack and seize vehicles from government officials and from motor parks and so forth and so on. So it is not as if they just dropped from nowhere. And these operations also extended to other areas. And that's why the government of Nigeria today is soliciting the support and understanding of neighbors to ensure that where there are leakages within the chain, such leakages should be blocked and plugged to solve the supply capability of Boko Haram.
Now let's look at Nigeria's quest in seeking for armed support from the U.S. What the Lay's report said. He mentioned that there was a time they were planning to help Nigeria spray the Boko Haram camps with gas, but the next day they saw all of them putting on gas masks.
Well, these are intelligence. These are from intelligence sources that I'm not privy to, so I'm not capable of commenting on those things, unless I know, unless I have evidence. I don't want to comment. I'll be less than credible. I will be a less than credible source.
Before we wind down this conversation, let me take you back to the rebranding project. Has this changed anything fundamentally about Nigeria, talking about good people, great nation?
Rebranding, that was before...
Good people, great nation.
Yeah, that was when the late Minister Dora Akunyili was there, and I think the administration of Obasanjo, also former President Obasanjo, he did, the slogan is still there, and it's meant to inspire people to patriotism, to working for the country, and so forth and so on. And we felt that at the point it wasn't achieving much of the result envisaged. It's still there. So we introduced a charge added to good people, great nation. You cannot be good, you cannot be great unless you do the right thing. And that is why we said do the right things. When we do the right things, we can become good people and a great nation. And that is a charge, it's not a slogan. And I'm serious about it. Nigerians must learn to do the right things. It is another thing to do what is right, because you can do things right and you can do the right things. When you do things right, an armed robber can do things right and still successfully, but that is not the right thing. So there is a difference between doing the right things and do things right.
Mr. Mike Omeri, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Question Time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for the opportunity, and you're welcome again.
So the die is cast. Are you satisfied with the performance of President Buhari's administration? And which other areas would you want an improvement on? You may send us a comment on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. And that's as much as we can take on this episode of Question Time. Join us again next week on a fresh episode of the program. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru saying goodbye.